Buenos dias, everybody. Welcome to the November 13th, 2024 E2T morning show. I am Jamie Irvin. Let's get this party started. Hope all is well. Hope you had a great night of sleep. You were able to get you some good rest. Currently, the Dow futures is up slightly, 0.05%. S&P futures is up 0.03%. The NAS futures is down a little bit, tiny bit, 0.10%, which would classify as negligibly. All right. S&P 500 futures inch higher after key inflation report meets expectations. Europe mostly down. FTSE, MIB, that's Milano, the only one up, 0.31%. 0.31%. Asia, mostly down. Shanghai, the only one that's up, 0.51%. All right. So there's a lot of that going on. Last reported, all of the indexes was down. The VIX currently is up 0.14%. We are at 14.74. It's where we are at currently. Let's take a look at earnings. We had discussions earlier in the week and at the end of last week, but definitely earlier this week, about some of the reportings for today before and after market opening. We got the main things as far as tech is concerned, which is I split everything on hardware or software. So CyberArk for me would be more so on the software side. Tower Semiconductors and Stratasys for me would be on the hardware side, but keep an eye out for HUD-8 and Hive. I believe HUD-8 I believe Hive is also part of the Bitcoin space. Bitcoin Depot was down here, BTM, that is reporting this morning. If you follow Coin, at least two of those three will probably be something that you want to take a look at as well, just to see how they trade and or if they trade together. Probably wouldn't be a surprise to anybody who follows Bitcoin that when Bitcoin took off, Coin also, COIN for Coinbase, seems to have taken off as well. So before the open, we have those. After close today, we got Cisco D-Local, KULR, not even sure what that is, in terms of tech, and then Smith Micro. I am not familiar with these other ones in here, but I can tell you that this is not Hewlett Packard, HMP. Hewlett Packard is HPE. So that's after close for Wednesday. Tomorrow, we got Disney tomorrow before the open. Intuitive Machines, some of us may be familiar with that one. And then NICE, which is more so on the software side for tech, is also reporting tomorrow. Billy's tomorrow before the open as well. And then after close tomorrow is Applied Material for what I'm looking for in terms of tech, which will be on the hardware side, and then Globant, which will be on the software side as far as tech is concerned. Friday, the only thing I'll be looking at is WISA over here before market open. Alibaba, though, is also reporting on Friday before market open as well. So that's happening, right? Let's get you all situated with Mancini. That's about as quick as follow through gets in SPX. 5984 had to reclaim to trigger up, and we hit the trigger and ran 20 points. It's CPI. So make sure to lock in gains right now. Leave a runner to work. 6032, 6013 next. If SPX wants more, same supports, 5977, 5963 must hold. All right. So let's put that on the calendar. 59.77. Let's put that on there. Let's go to the 15. This is Thinkorswim. 15-minute chart. 59.77. That's what we got from yesterday. This red line right here. And then I got 59.84. So 59.63. We want to drop that line down. 59.63. And we'll just do 5963. Boom, boom. Mancini numbers. And then at the top, and we were just marking these lines 6032, 6013. So we'll go 6032. And just putting these in so that as the day moves, we can watch the chart, make whatever adjustments need to be made, and keep it moving. We'll come back to this chart in a little bit, but we want to at least get those Mancini numbers on there right here up front. For our ForexFactory calendar, the core CPI. I'm going to hit refresh on here just to be on the safe side. All right. So we got the core CPI month over month, which was red folder. CPI month over month. Also red with the CPI year over year. All right. Now, this is released by the Bureau of Labor Statistics. Consumer Price Index is what that is. All right. And the consumer prices account for a majority of overall inflation. Okay, rising prices lead the central bank to raise rates out of respect for their inflation containment mandate. I won't bore you with all the details, but I will say this. I will highly encourage you to at least get a cursory view of the definition of what these mean. This measures the changes in price of goods and services purchased by consumers, but the core one does not include food and energy. All right, so core CPI does not include food and energy. And then I think this one is the one that does, right? So these are kind of gauges, mechanisms, if you will, of basically how inflation, pieces of how inflation works. And that whole inflation story is made up of multiple components. So, but the takeaway for us is when we see these red folders, this happened at 8:30. So, of course, if the market is opening at 9:30, then we can expect there's going to definitely be some activity based on this, right? 8:40, we got the FOMC member Kashkari speaking. These are all yellow folders. So Kashkari speaks 8:40, 9:45. Logan speaks 1 o'clock. Musalam speaks 1:30. Schmidt speaks 2 o'clock is the federal budget balance, right? Right down here, Federal Open Market Committee. At least get a cursory knowledge. They discuss the economy. Bloomberg Television. Yeah, they are always in the mix. And you have different people from different areas who are doing the speaking, right? But we were just talking about the interest rates as it is connected to the core CPI. And so your Federal Reserve members are voting on where to set those interest rates. And so that's how those two connect together. All of this information here is not anything that I would, suggest anybody try to memorize. But I will say, understand that it is important to the overall picture. And it's good for us to at least have an idea of how it impacts us, especially for us who are looking at that 10 o'clock turnaround that happens every morning. If these things are happening at 8:30, 7 o'clock in the morning, You get a lot of these happening very early this week. Everything is at 8:30. So we have that, activity happening when the bell rings. So that definitely impacts or can impact what we do in terms of our trading at the beginning of the day. So that was our ForexFactory calendar, right? And now we have this version over here. Again, I'm gonna hit refresh. I don't know what's going on with this. I don't know if it's these sites or my browser. You got the NBA mortgage applications week over week was 7 o'clock this morning. So 7 o'clock this morning was NBA mortgage applications, the 30-year mortgage rate. These mortgage application is week over week. NBA purchase index, mortgage market index, mortgage refinance index. All of that happened 7 o'clock. Then here for investing.com is what we're looking at now. The core CPI month over month for October, year over year for October. That was 3 stars and 2 stars respectively. Over here, the core CPI index for October, 1 star, 3 stars. For the CPI year over year for October, as well as the CPI month over month for October. Right? So this is all happening right in a row. 1 star for the CPI index, NSA for October, CPI index SA for October, and the CPI NSA month over month. So if you notice, you'll see month over month and year over year and week over week on a regular basis. And those numbers are going to be totally different because they're measuring different factors. Basically, like a watch has multiple parts. That's what this is. That's what this is. Kashkari spoke, 2 stars. Then you have real earnings month over month for October, which is 1 star. Over here, William speaking is 2 stars, but Fed Logan speaks is 1 star. And then you have the Cleveland CPI month over month, and then the Thomson Reuters Ipsos PCI for November. That is happening at 11 o'clock. Schmidt speaking for FOMC is 1 star over here, and the federal budget balance for October is 2 stars. And then our usual API weekly crude oil stock is also 2 stars. All right, Schmidt speaking is 1:30. 2 o'clock is the federal budget balance for October. And then at 4:30 is the API weekly crude oil stock. And then we're out of there. All right. So good morning, everyone. Thank you all so much for joining us. Buenos dias, Tamar, Jermaine, Janae, Ward, Lady T, LLQL, Arlissa, and Silena Anderson. Good morning. Here's what we have for our morning announcement. Stocks are little change as traders assess state of post-election rally. New inflation data. Let's head over to the chart. Okay. So don't let any of this confuse you. I'm going to break down what I did on my chart. This is the 15-minute chart. SPX. I'm on Thinkorswim. So what I did, all I really added to my chart was these lines are representing the swing points that have happened on the 15-minute chart. That's what these light blue lines are. Hopefully you can see them. I don't have another way to blow the screen up anymore so that you all can see it outside of doing this. So what I did was this purple line right here. I marked the high of the week and the low of the week. It just so happens that yesterday, when price came down to 59.60, which was around 1 o'clock, what it hit was it hit the previous day low. And it just so happens that it hit the previous week low. So the previous week low, strong price point, and that's where it bounced out of here. All right. But I also had marked after close, I marked the previous day low, so I'll know where that is. And I marked the previous day high. I like to have those numbers just so I have an idea of what is going on when I'm watching price. I'm going to turn off this one and turn off this. These are Mancini numbers that we are no longer using, so we can take those off the charts. Right? If anybody has any tickers they would like looked at, we can get the party started. So for this morning, there was a small gap up. I have a feeling that it is probably going to close that gap since it is so small. But we will see. These red numbers are the ones that we put in for Mancini's numbers for today. Okay. This swing point right here is one that is probably going to end up being significant. And I'm going to put this here because that is 6,000. I'm just going to make that one thicker. They refer to some of those as psychological numbers. Whether or not that's a real thing, I don't know. But a number that's, 6,000, the bigger, stronger numbers is they refer to 5,000, 6,000, 7,000. I know there's others in between, but I'll just use 6,000 as a reference point for right now. So I'm marking that one right there just to be aware of it. And as you can see already, the sellers are stepping in early, trying to push this down. So we'll see what ends up happening. But this is the one for SPX. This is what happened yesterday. When it opened, it did not make it quite past where it was trying to go. It had came up to this week high a couple days ago, bounced off of that, tried to push its way up. It did not work. And then that's when it dropped and tried to retrace. Or shall I say, it dropped, went back up, and this is where it landed. I remember yesterday it really pushed up because some of us were in some trades. When this started, some of us were in call credit spreads. And once this happened, yeah, it is time to tense up. All right. Let's take a look at SPY real quick. See what SPY NIM talking about. Right? SPY and SPX based on the S&P 500. We had a discussion, believe it was Monday, I think. We were talking about these. So on my charts, these pink areas are just the gaps. Whether gaps up or gaps down, I always try to acknowledge the gaps that happen. That one is done because it went through there. And so what I was saying was when we, at least on my charts, what I try to do is keep track of these gaps as time moves forward, because there's likely to see this was a buyer's gap. And I know that because price went up. And so it's likely that when this price starts coming back down, it might do the same thing again and bounce off. In other words, it may not just blow right through there. So that's something to be aware of as well. So I just continue to move this gap over until it's filled, and I just make that part of my charting. But it would not surprise me. This looks like it's trying to start a chart pattern formation. I won't get too deep in the weeds on that, but this run up and this right here tells me that it's trying to start heading down at some point. May not be this week, may not be next week, but it wouldn't surprise me within the next 2 weeks if it starts coming more towards this 592 area. But for right now, it is sitting up here, and we can see that the buyers pushed this up, right? If you want to get, I do use the moving averages. I hate when that happens. I do use the moving averages. And what I see is that the moving averages are providing support. This is the 9 exponential, is that green one. This yellow one is 20 EMA, and then this is the 50. So right now I see two things happening. I see the gap right here, which is providing support, and then I have the moving averages. I see them providing support as well. All right, so it's no surprise that this, when the sellers push this down, that the buyers push that back up, given though, seeing as though you have that gap. I don't start looking to get in this early. I mean, the first candle hasn't even fully formed yet, but I have no problem being nosy and checking out and seeing what the prices could be, and at least having an idea of how my money might be showing up today. So for this to be a one spread, 594 minus 593, right? I would be looking at that area. This is 85% out the money. You could probably do 595, right? 38 cents. So you'll be looking at 15 cents. So that's $15 on $100 collateral is what I'll be looking at and watching. 595 is right here in this area. 595 is in here. I have this line set to lock on open, high, low, close, so I can't point to 595 specifically, but I'm trying to be as close to this support area as possible. So 595 will put me about in that vicinity. And I know that there are some people who most or only trade SPY. Some people only do SPX or what have you. So these charts are going to look somewhat similar, but this right here, rejecting this all-time highs right here for SPY. That's what this bubble represents up here. That's what's going on there. So it's too early in the morning to enter, but I most certainly would be doing a put credit spread if I was going to be entering there. Okay, Russell. Same deal with Russell. Same setup. So now what happened with Russell is that Russell went above its high of the week on last week and is coming back down. That's what 2402 was the high for last week, so it went above it. All right, so that's what we're looking at on there. Daily. Let's switch this to the 15. 15. This is the 15-minute from yesterday. Take off some of this stuff just in case. All right. Put this line here. This is marking the 15-minute candle for today. Just like SPX, it did gap up a little bit. And I'm going to put the gap in here. I'm gonna put this one in here. I didn't do it on SPX because SPX looked like it was going to fill it. But I will do it on this one because it may not. Russell and SPX do not move exactly the same, even though they are both indexes. Russell has a lower ATR. Okay, average range is lower. It moves a little bit slower, about half in terms of how fast it moves. But sometimes, and I could even literally say on a regular basis, if you're trading the 15-minute breakout strategy, what made me start trading Russell was that many times it would be already broken out, even though SPX wouldn't be. And I would find myself using the PDT hack and be out of a trade using Russell before SPX even broke out. And I liked being out of the trade. So as of right now, we got the week high. And then we have, this is the 15-minute right now. And it looks like it's trying to break out of its cage, if you will. All righty. This is Twitter. I honestly don't know why anybody would waste time trading Twitter, but that's my personal experience. I'm not a fan of Elon Musk. I think he's a super villain. That's just me. Anytime do send out a tweet and he can drop his own stock price. I don't feel comfortable with that. However, we're going to put these gaps in. There's a gap here. There's a gap here. And let's do this one. I'm going to activate this. Says Twitter could move with the appointment of Musk and government efficiency. Not sure what efficiency is, but okay. I think that I don't disagree, but I also think that it could also work to Elon's detriment as well. Just because Elon Musk is too much of a celebrity. He's a CEO, but he's way too much of a celebrity, in my opinion. This dude sold some bottles of perfume that was called, I think, burnt hair. Oh my God. People bought that crap. I was like, dude, this is way beyond anything that I'm ready to experience as a human. Just because he was selling it. It's crazy. But he sent out the tweet, my stock price is too high. And people started selling the stock. Did it for Tesla. Said, nah, cuz that's manipulation. But the SEC didn't think so. Anyway, so you have three gaps happening right here. We have to go back a ways. Let's look at the monthly chart. So we're on the monthly chart right now, and we're looking at Twitter. This most recent high right here is from April of 2022. So this is what it's trying to break past most recently. All right. So it is, even on the monthly chart, it is trending upward. And I know that because we go to connect some of these, actually, no matter how, even if you did it like this and tried to connect it, it would still be on the upswing, but I would prefer to do something like this and connect more of these lines together, still on the upswing. At least your lows are overall getting higher over here. But in terms of high points, this has plenty of room to run. Okay. So that becomes a factor. We got to do some work and go back. Let me see how far we got to go back in order to find us seller zone. Needs to be above 54. So let's see what we got. Needs to be above 54. 54. Let's see what we got. We know there's one back there. And I'm going to say we found another gap, Captain. I'm going to say we use this. So this is 63. This is what's called a cheer formation. I'm gonna be, come on. Cheer formation is leg in, base, leg out. Right. So this right here is, this area right here is the current price. This over here is not a formation that we can use. So we will be coming back here trying to find something which puts us right up there. So I don't see anything seller zone-ish that would work for us. So that's how we ended up here. And this over here is October 26th, right? With a little bit of a gap. So what we're looking at will be a put credit spread. As far as I'm concerned, like I'm literally trying to see if there's something else in between there, and I don't see anything else. If you're gonna do anything, it would be here, but that's right at where it is right now. So you do have a gap right here, and then that's the next one up. So I'll be doing, whoops. We're waiting for Twitter to load. That's what that looks like. In the meantime, yeah. Now the other thing we could do, we wanted to do the Janet Jackson breakdown. Break it down, break it down. Oh, he's getting appointed to lead the government efficiency department. Good luck with that. Good luck with that. So that means my bandwidth must be slow, because should have been already doing its thing. So we'll do. Make sure we don't have too much open in terms of apps. We'll close these. Close. Close. Make sure there's nothing else up in here that can cause us any issues. But this looks like this is bigger than us. So this is Twitter. Let me see. Oh, so it's Twitter. It's still showing me SPX. Alrighty, well, let's move on to Micron. All right, this is Micron. I have not looked at Micron in a minute, but here's what I do see. Seller zone, leg in, base, leg out. There's our seller zone. This is a weekly price point right here. This is a good example of what I was talking about earlier. This gap has not been filled, so I just dragged this square over to represent that it is still not filled yet. I mean, you can go further than that if you wanted to, but that's what that is for. And then I'm telling y'all, I think Elon Musk is trying to run Tesla not Tesla. I think he's trying to run Twitter into the ground so he can use it as a tax write-off. It's my personal opinion on Elon and Twitter. He definitely is treating that company like a stepchild he did not want to have when he got married. All right. So you're going to zoom in. Boom, boom. And we can see that the price of Micron is, and actually this is, should be here. Micron is sandwiched not only between two gaps, one above it and below it, but there's also a gap right up in here. It closed here, open here, and has been pushing down. Today is still forming, so I won't even worry about putting the gap in there. But if you're not aware, Micron is a semiconductor stock. It is in the same camp in terms of the way it trades as NVIDIA, Intel, AMD. I know Micron because you would probably know them as flash drives, but when they started making, they were the first ones that I knew of that started making flash drives that replaced regular hard drives for computers. So that's what sped up a lot of computers when they came out with those. But I also knew them for the memory cards that they have. They've expanded up beyond that. But if you ever built computers, you are aware of that, or try to upgrade your memory card as an example. So Micron is definitely strong in that space. All right. Because it's sandwiched in between these two, the first thing I would do is take a look at my moving averages. I have no idea why this thing keeps pushing everything over like that. All right. Don't worry. I'm going to take this off. These are my moving averages, the red, the green, the yellow, and the orange. All right. So this is currently under all of the moving averages. All the moving averages are not right in a row, but this is providing resistance. And that's what I need to see, is whether or not it's providing resistance. Right. So for me, I'm going to be looking at a call credit spread first. And don't forget, it has this gap here that it has yet to fill as well. So I will be looking at the call credit spread. Today, Wednesday. It's probably people doing stuff for this Wednesday, I would imagine. So let's see. All right. So 107 minus 106. So this will be a one spread. And on that side, I will be collecting 14 cents or $14 on $100 collateral. So that's not a bad idea. Not a bad idea at all. Yeah, so I wouldn't be getting it, but I definitely would be looking at that. And just to put this context, 106 would be right here. 106 would be in this area. So this is in the resistance that's being provided by this gap above current price. This is still pushing down. Would not be a surprise if this comes down and hits this and bounces off. Would not be a surprise at all. There is a buyer zone formation sitting in here, as a matter of fact. So you have a gap right here, but you also have, at the same time, a real live actual buyer zone formation. All right. Leg in, one in the base, leg out. It gaps up right there. I'm gonna zoom it in. We're gonna zoom. All right, so leg in, base, leg out. Right there. So you do have a buyer zone formation that's sitting here as well. So this could very well turn around, and then that's where I will be watching. Once it starts turning around, I will be more inclined to get in there and take advantage because it's closer to price, right? Do not show, do not show. There you go. So on both sides of this, this would be for the put credit spread side. If I was investigating, also 14 cents right now. So on $100 collateral, we're looking at about $27, $28. Well over 20% on collateral. Of course, that's what you're collecting. That is not the final result. That's what I'll be looking at. That's for Iron Condor. Iron Condo. Let's see. So, oh wait. All right, LL. All right, LL. The Twitter option chain only has 2025. I don't know what that means. Even I'm saying that nothing is showing up for Twitter. I thought I had the wrong ticker. All right, this is Russell. We're gonna take a look-see. So here's what happened here. For the 15-minute, it pushed up, hit the top of its. We created this 15-minute up here for its range. This is the high point and the low point, and it made a turn right here. All right. So my first question is going to be, what did Elon do that messed up the option chain for Twitter? So for right now, if you're trading the breakout, Russell has not broken out yet. SPX actually is breaking out right now. Busting out. All right. Activate this. Duplicate. And here you go. SPX. This is the second time it has broken out. The first time the buyers rejected it. Notice how close it's getting to this 59.77 Mancini number. So it is definitely trying to make its way out. Okay. So that's what's happening here. It is broken out. Now the question is whether or not it'll be able to get past this, et cetera, et cetera. Y'all know the drill. Some would argue that once it passed this point, that was a space to get in. I have no comment on that because I don't mess with SPX anymore. All right. I think we have hit all the tickets that we need to hit. And also SPY, SPX. Yep, I think that's everybody. So that's good. Let's see here. We have a November calendar for E2T. Tomorrow is the training for, I believe that's for chart and trade as well. 7 p.m. Eastern. Anytime you hear any type of time frames, you can assume that we're talking Eastern time. Okay. I live in Central. We're usually talking Eastern. All right. That's just a general state of mind. We have also this Saturday, the chart and trade, 10 o'clock, 10 a.m. Eastern time training. All right. But this is definitely something that you can take a look at, refer back to if you need it. Obviously, you can request a copy of the chart. The chart and trade is going on for 6 weeks. So, we'll be referring to this on a regular. The first VIP session for chart and trade is this coming Thursday. All right. Which would be tomorrow, 8:15 p.m. Eastern time. Okay. So we will be talking about that. Our YouTube Live is 5 p.m. on Sunday. YouTube Live, 5 p.m. What time frame? What zone? Eastern. All right. Currently, the Dow Jones is down 0.11%. S&P is down 0.20%. And the NASDAQ is down 0.36%. The VIX is up 0.41%. Okay. Just be aware before you go to enter. Just be aware, right? We have a couple things that are sprinkled in terms of what we're trying to do for the day. So don't forget about that. Our E2T daily declaration: by faith, I'm a successful trader. I'm a wise and knowledgeable trader. I make smart and lucrative decisions for my portfolios. Money likes me because money is comfortable around me. It is drawn to me. All right. You want to get in on the action. We are going to I don't know. Can you put that in? Can I put that in as a link? I don't know if I can put that in as a link or not. We got a lot going on when it comes to our broadcasting capabilities and what can and can't show up as a link. So I'm going to try to do it as a link just to see. Maybe y'all can click on it. It doesn't show up as a link. It might show up on y'all end, but it doesn't on my end as a link. For Chart Your Way to 100K. E2T Daily Prayer. Lord, give us wisdom and knowledge for our trades today. Help us to make smart and lucrative decisions for our portfolios. Smart and lucrative decisions for our portfolios. All right, everybody. Don't forget, check your charts before you enter today. Okay? We're not out of the woods until around 2 o'clock, something like that. So at least 2 o'clock. So we don't want to step on any landmines and end up with a story. I am Jamie Irvin. This has been the E2T Morning Show. Thank y'all so much for hanging out with us. And if you'd be so kind, please click like and subscribe. And we will see you all on the morrow. All right? On the morrow. You all have a good one. If you have any questions, you can always drop a question in the comment box or, of course, our Telegram group, which I will be posting the Mancini information there right away. All right? You all have a good one. Thank you very much. Hasta la vista.